You found out that you love finding men who need to be fixed, but that's never happening again. No more projects.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Well, I think I want to be needed by someone, or wanted to be needed by someone.
Mm-hmm.
So I would find people who need my support and love.
Oh, okay.
So
right.
I don't want to do that anymore, though. I want to like be in a partnership with someone instead of like
Partnership, okay.
you know,
Taking care of them.
taking care of them. Yeah.
Okay. You also said, I also think getting involved in your friends' relationships, like if you don't like their partner, is pointless because they are the ones who need to figure it out in most cases, disregarding
Yes.
any seriously abusive ones. And I also think giving a girl, okay, that's something else. But so you're against getting like involved in the details of friends' relationships?
Yeah. I just don't think it's helpful to anyone in this situation.
Yeah.
It would be like, you have to leave, like obviously disregarding like seriously
Right.
abusive ones, but
Yeah.
like if your friend is madly in love with a guy that you don't like, you just can't do anything about it. And like I've been on the opposite side of it, and it's true. Like she might know
your friends
how
don't give a fuck.
What do you mean?
Like, I feel like, I don't know, girls will like, with their female friends, will be like, this guy's terrible, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And like most of the time that never sways the girl to like
rarely
break.
does.
Sometimes it does.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
I mean,
most times it doesn't do anything. And then that's just toxic.
yeah, it's also always in your best interest, like when your friends are doing that, but like you have to make the decision at the end of the day to get out of it. And I think it also creates some issues between the friendship and the relationship, because you want to be supportive of your friend, like no matter what happens, you know? So
And you
I
can't
didn't-
have a good friendship with a narcissist when you have a narcissist,
Yeah.
because they need constant attention.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, though, I do want to point out,
Yes.
one thing I think women tend to do a bit more than men is you'll only go to your friends, like you're not going to tell your friends, oh, things are great. But when there's an issue, that's when you're going to go to your friends. So all your friends hear is all the negative things. And women will also do this with family members too. Oh, we're going through some trouble, blah, blah, blah. And you'll only talk about the negative things. And also, in addition to that, Andrew actually articulated this perfectly the last time he was on, I think, is you'll downplay the ways that you were perhaps culpable to some sort of issue or argument in the relationship, and you will emphasize the ways in which you think that your partner is at fault for some argument or situation.
Right.
And so you'll always paint it like your partner's in the wrong, you're in the right. You downplay what you did wrong. You upplay, I don't know if that's a word, but upplay, exaggerate the ways they did wrong. And then it makes for all your friend group and family to hate your partner.
That's so funny, because I feel like whenever I get out of like a toxic relationship, I feel like that's when all of like the bad stuff starts flowing out to my friends. Like during it, I want to be like, everything's fine and everything's great, you know,
That's
and
fair.
like don't
Okay.
like think anything's wrong,
Yeah.
you know. But the second I'm out of it, I'm like, wait till you hear what he did,
Yeah.
you know, and like that's when
Yeah, but that's the whole point that Brian is making, is that it's always when the relationship is over. Well, not
Oh, I
always.
didn't hear
but,
that
I mean,
part.
it's common enough that we see it that you know, the guy's an evil villain. You know what I mean? He's horrible. He's an evil villain. This and that. And now you have the advantage of so many women who are on Instagram and places like this, who have these kind of amassed audiences. Much harder for men to do, because you don't just take their shirt off and people come a-flocking, right? So suddenly there's all sorts of reputational damage which can happen to them, and their side of the story is never even told. And it's like, considering the amount of mental illness that I've seen on this show, I really just don't think that women are angels. Okay, I just don't think so.
Yeah, and I don't think men are angels either, you know? Like, I don't think you can, like, put, like, a gender and just say they're great, you know?
No,
like,
I think we can, because what is the SSRI usage of women, do you know? In comparison to
don't
men?
know. I don't know.
Antipsychotic, depression, drugs, mental illness.
Wait.
Which rate would you say it's higher in? Which sex?
Which?
Which one do you think?
I'm going to go with women in this case.
Yeah, why do you think that is?
I'm not sure. We were on a really good topic, though. We should go back.
This is a great topic. We're talking
I
about a
also
great
think, too,
topic.
like,
right this
men
second.
often,
I'm
when
saying
there's-
that women and their culpability, at least in modernity, seems to be very low. In fact, basically every tale that I've even heard tonight when we get into the relationship status is it's all his fault, right? It's all their fault. It's all the other guy's fault. It's not me.
Well,
I didn't do nothing.
It's also like in these situations when, like, I am gonna go to my friends and I'm what was I gonna say? Okay, so my family and my friends care about me. They don't really care about my
Yeah.
partner, you know, and now my ex-partner especially, you know, so I don't feel like I have to, what is it, like stand up for him. Yeah,
Right,
you
it's
know,
way
it's like
better
I'm
for
gonna
you to put yourself in the position where
Yeah.
you didn't do anything wrong so that socially the people around you feel like you were victimized, right?
No, like it's more like it's more like I get to like if you're in a crazy relationship and you're constantly defending this person to your friends and family, and the second you're out of it, now you're like, oh, I can like talk freely and finally like speak my mind. And I guess that might make you seem like a victim if you are a victim in it, you know?
Well, it gives a lot of post hoc justification, right? Oh, there was no problem, there was no problem, there was no problem. And now suddenly, when the relationship is done, oh, there were so many problems, you don't even know. He was a fucking monster, right? It's like,
Yeah.
it's old after a while because honestly, I don't believe half of the tales that I hear about these men. I just don't believe them. And the
That's
reason
totally
I
your
don't
choice,
is
yeah.
because of that exact thing. Why in the relationship are you consistently just saying, this is perfect, he's Mr. Right, everything is great, then suddenly the relationship ends and he was a toxic, abusive asshole the second that happens? Doesn't that seem like it's a little bit contradictory to itself?
I think in the beginning, a lot of times guys will show their good side, and of course the women are like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, he's so great, he's so amazing, and then all of a sudden, the truth comes out, but you've already told all these people that you
Yes.
love, like, he's the one, I'm gonna marry him, like, this is it. And you don't want to be the victim. You want this relationship to work so bad. You know you can't tell the truth.
Yeah.
And then when you're out of it, you
What?
have the freedom.
You can't. Why can't you tell the truth?
It's difficult sometimes. It's
Because you're already trauma bonded to this person.
yeah. Also, your
Oh,
ego
this
gets in
trauma
the way.
bonding shit is bullshit. There's no such thing as trauma bonding. It's made up nonsense, sociological nonsense. What
So
the
as
hell
a
is
Christian,
trauma
you know
bonding?
when you have sex with somebody that you actually are spiritually, it's two becomes one. And so when you're having sex outside of
having
marriage,
sex with somebody
but
two
it's
doesn't
still,
become
it's like
one.
at the end of the day, when I got abused, I was accountable. I accepted something that was not okay. Like, that was my fault. Angie had a record of hitting women before. But I do take accountability for that. I wasn't healed. I didn't do the work. I listened to the devil. I was fearful. I was comfortable with that. All these different things, but it's still my fault. I'm not saying it's all his fault he hit me. I had the red flags. I chose to listen to the lies of the enemy and not listen to my gut and God telling me to leave. So I think that you're misconstruing a lot of this, but
Misconstruing is not a word.
I know, but it sounds good, right?
It does sound.
You're
I think-
also
I think
You decided a D. That's
You have no-
I'll give you
We're all
that.
tired. You decided a D.
But
All right, moving on.
I'm trying.
Hold on, wait. So, okay. Why is it, though, it seems like women almost seem drawn, not all women, generally, but there seems to be some draw to these men who are toxic. Why?
Because we're nurturers, I think, too.
You subconsciously attract who you think you deserve. If maybe you were abused or belittled as a child and then you didn't heal, and so then you grow up and you try to basically, you get into these relationships with people that almost mirror the abuse that you've been through. I mean,
we
it
see the
happens all
good.
the
A lot
time.
of times we see the good.
Oh, really? Is that what happens? Okay. Well,
does
show of
happen.
hands. How many women here have dated a narcissist?
I've also been a narcissist, so but
Yeah,
I
how
was
many
attracting
women?
who
No,
I was,
how
right?
many?
So what's
Most
that?
of the panel have dated narcissists. Are you sure that that's all that have dated narcissists? You haven't dated a narcissist, not even once? Nobody else here? Just those 4 women?
I think because it's on a scale, there's people with narcissistic tendencies, but it doesn't make them a narcissist. Like being a narcissist.
Yeah, narcissism's super
like
rare.
0.5%
Like people don't even
of
know
the
that. But
population
if you
or
look at the
something.
sociology based around narcissism, It's actually really rare that somebody's actually a narcissist.
The thing is, if you don't have God in your life,
every
you are a
woman
natural
seems to have been with
narcissist.
this teeny tiny select portion of the population who's a narcissist.
You're
And I just
self-centered
kind of
when you don't
wonder,
have
how is this
God.
possible?
All of us has traits of narcissism. When we don't have God in our life, we are very
No,
self-centered.
all of us do not have traits of narcissism. That's just made up nonsense. You just made it up on the spot.
demonic.
It's
No, they
made
don't.
up,
That's
apparently.
nonsense. With this type, the reason that this happens, the reason that so many women fancy themselves to be sociologists and think that they're diving into sociology and that they can make these predictors for what works or doesn't work in relationships is because they're fucking being narcissists. If you look at the scale of narcissism from female to male, it's much higher in females than it is in men. And it's still rare. Still rare. And yet, most of the men that we talk to, come through these panels, or that I talk to absent them, have not dated narcissists. They dated crazy women, but somehow all these women are dating all these narcissists. And I'm just wondering, the numbers don't seem to add up to me. So I just
Doesn't
wonder
add
about
up.
female culpability here a
Does-
little
a
bit.
little female
And if these guys are
culpability
actually
would be
narcissists,
nice.
or if maybe you're putting us on.
What's
I
like
think you guys might be
what's an
putting this
example
on.
of like
I think.
narcissistic behavior? Because like maybe men express it more than women do.
Narcissism depends. It's not well defined. If you're talking about a grandiose narcissist, that could be different. But again, it's very rare.
Very rare. Very
A narcissist is going to be somebody who is completely self-absorbed. They're going to be almost psychopathic. You're not
Almost
even going to be able to tell that they're narcissists necessarily. So people often confuse confidence with narcissism, which is insanity. They often confuse people who are correct with being narcissists because it makes them feel bad, right? But there's not that many narcissists who are around. So
Not too
I don't
many.
understand how all these women are dating all of these narcissists.
It's beautiful.
Stunning.
Did you say stunning?
Well, like
okay.
the guy, you raised your hand when I asked if you dated a narcissist. What made him a narcissist?
I don't know. I guess I'm not like that well versed on the word. He was just yeah, like very self-centered and would do things that were rude and weird and then somehow find a way to blame it on me.
He was rude and weird, and that made him a narcissist? Like,
Well,
see what I
I don't-
mean? This is
no.
what I mean by why it is that I have trouble believing this kind of nonsense about all the narcissists who are around. Because I think when a lot of you women say that you've dated a narcissist, what you really mean is, I dated a guy who didn't kiss my fucking ass. That's what I think you actually mean.
You're totally allowed to think like that.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, I dated a guy that was a pimp, so he was definitely a self-absorbed man who his, he was really out to get what he could get for himself. You know, he manipulated.
Yeah, but him being a pimp doesn't make him a narcissist
well, he
either.
was manipulative. He was
Still
manipulative.
doesn't make him a narcissist. Like what?
What
did,
does?
Did
I
a
dated
a
psychologist?
guy who
Did a
was
psychologist sit
cheated
your
on his
pimp
wife.
down?
What is your
and
definition?
diagnose him with narcissism, or is that something that you
lied
just
every
made
day?
up? That you're
No,
just
what
saying
is your
he's
definition?
a narcissist because I think he is.
So
No.
a narcissist, like a compulsive liar. Like I dated a guy. He was Muslim. He was married. He lied all the time. I mean, anything he could lie about. He lied about his age. Anything like the sky outside. He would just completely lie. He was always the victim. He always talked bad about other people.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, I
just
get
this,
it.
like,
I understand what you're saying, but back
There's
to
a lot
this.
out there.
Your
Maybe
pimp. What actually made your pimp a narcissist other than you think he was?
Okay, so what's the definition of narcissism?
Don't ask me a question before
No,
you
I want-
answer.
But we
I
have to
wanna
base it
know.
off of your definition.
I would
you know?
love to hear
Hang on,
what
hang on,
your
hang on.
definition is
Don't-
because
what
I
said
shared
was, hang
I
on.
shared with
What
you
I said,
traits.
hang on.
Why
What I
can you
said
interrupt
was,
me yet I
don't
can't
ask
interrupt
me a
you
question
and
before
you're
you
interrupting
answer
me
my
currently.
question.
So let's stop. Like
All I said was don't ask me a question before you answer my question. So
So
the question
I
is,
gave
what
you an
makes him a
answer.
narcissist other than you think he is?
So I gave you an answer. Was he diagnosed as one? No, absolutely not. He wasn't. But,
Right.
and you also brought up like
So you made it up.
more women being on antidepressants than men. I've dated a lot of men in my lifetime, and one thing that I notice, a common trait through all of them, including my loving husband who I love so much, I have to really pressure him to go to the doctor, even if he's hurt or like he's got a deviated stuff. Come on, go to the doctor. It's like a lot of men don't want to go to the doctor. It's like pulling
mental
teeth. They won't go until their teeth are falling out and stuff like that. Like, it's just, that's a...
Yeah, but they're not acting out in society in insane ways. So you would expect
Well,
that you
but a
would
lot
see
of
them
men
being
are
complete psychopaths and lunatics
I know men
if it
who
was
are-
true that they're just mentally ill people who are not treated.
I know men who are depressed and have intrusive thoughts, and they refuse to go to therapy or refuse to get help.
So what? That makes no sense. You would expect that if the mental illness of men was as high as it was in women, that you would see that reflected in society, and you don't see it reflected in society. It's a huge cope, and
But
it makes
didn't
no
we-
sense. And not only that, to rejoin to this, what actually makes your pimp a narcissist, again, other than I think he was? That's all you're really saying, right?
He
No
used her
diagnosis,
every
no
day,
nothing.
I mean,
You just
for his
made
own
it up.
benefit.
You
No,
made
I
up that he was a
shared-
narcissist because you want him to be one, right?
No, I shared traits with you. But anyway, you guys said that,
No, sharing
that
traits
men are
does not
deleting
mean anything.
themselves more than women. So how do men not have mental illnesses as well? And I'm not saying all men. I love men. I love women. But I'm just trying to prove a point here that you're saying that women are the ones that are all mentally insane, yet men... Come on, Brian.
Sorry.
Yet
That was
men-
Nick.
Okay, Nick, come on. Yet men are the ones that are deleting themselves more, right? Is that not a statistic that you shared?
No.
He did.
What do you mean?
Brian
They're
shared
not,
that earlier.
No. They're not suffering
no,
from
yeah.
the
No,
they're
massive
better at it.
rates
Remember,
of
he said
depression.
that he's better
They're
at
not
it.
suffering
Yeah.
from these conditions which require SSRIs. They're not suffering from these conditions overwhelmingly like women are.
Because
They're not.
apparently, according to the statistic earlier, they are deleting themselves. So, I mean, clearly they're
Yeah,
struggling.
okay. You can be self-deceptive and not have a mental illness.
I need to be fixed. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Why is it a requirement that you can deceive yourself and that means you're mentally ill? That's nuts. People do it all the time.
What? That if you delete yourself, you're saying that people that delete themselves are not necessarily mentally ill?
No, I thought you said dilute, like lie to themselves.
Oh no, I'm saying
If
delete.
you're talking about
I have to say
if you're talking
delete
about men
for the
who
censorship.
unalive themselves, yes, that happens at a much higher rate. But there's other reasons for that too. Like for instance, they go to war,
Go to
right?
war.
They get PTSD. They end up unaliving themselves because of that. They're also under all sorts of stressors that women are not under. And what you're going to see
under a lot of
is
stress.
that by the way, this is also conditioned to certain demographics. For instance, black men rarely unalive themselves in comparison to white men. Would this mean that white men are just generally more mentally ill than black men? That seems absurd. So no, you got to kind of dive into that a little bit more before you can make kind of those declarations, right?
Mm-hmm.
But back to this, I still want you to understand that the only diagnosis that you gave for this guy being a narcissist is you.
No, I gave you some traits, and that's why I'm asking you. So, what is your definition?
So who diagnoses
Because
it?
we can't.
Other than you.
No, I said he's undiagnosed. What are you talking about?
Right, so
He
the only thing
shares-
that makes him a narcissist is
is-
because you say so.
And if he went to therapy, he'd probably get diagnosed with it.
Well, probably isn't. He was diagnosed with it. The only one diagnosing him with it is you.
Yeah, and I also admitted that I was a narcissist. I was definitely self.
Yeah, who diagnosed you as a
I'm
narcissist?
diagnosing myself on that one.
Diagnosed
So,
yourself.
I mean, that does sound kind of narcissistic. But anyway.
I have a chat here. We have to wait until this one comes up, but wow, that was a doozy. We got a couple more questions here. Stealth, I appreciate it. We have Anonymous coming in here though in just a sec with a $100 Streamlabs donation. Get your last donations in if you want. We're going to try to wrap up soon. Narcissism is claiming to speak in tongues to help you feel special and better about your past. Seek help. This is sad.
Okay.
I think he had to pull it out of people anyways. I don't think anybody was like, I speak in tongues, I'm so great. Like,
Yeah.
that doesn't make you closer to God at all.
But aren't
Is-
those hidden things that you were
Wait.
just talking about earlier that need to get drawn out?
I'm sorry?
Aren't those hidden things that you were just talking about earlier that need to get drawn out.
Wait, Andrew, can I ask you a question about the speaking in tongues thing? Is that a Protestant thing?
Yeah, purely Protestant, and generally only with people like Pentecostals, things like this. It's in no way endorsed by any Catholic church at all, or nor Orthodox church, nor most Protestant churches. They know that it's just gibberish speak.
But is there like anything about like
You can look up the scientific, how it affects the
Wait, the scientific what?
It actually, the way that tongues, like they have done research on how tongues affects the brain, and it actually puts people in a more peaceful state. So, I mean, there is, it shows.
So does yoga. So what? Is yoga of God? What if Satanists, if they went and they studied Satanists, and when Satanists prayed to Satan, they were in a more peaceful state? Would you say that's godly?
I would have to look up the complete study, but I've seen it, but it's like just, I'm tired right now, to be really honest. I'm usually in bed by now. I nurse my baby, and we should be in sleep. But anyways, I have seen a study where the brain matter basically is like less gray, and there's different reasons for that. I wish I had that right now to show you, but I don't, because I don't have access.
Yeah, but the less gray matter in the brain study also indicates that could be an indication of transgenderism. Just so you know.
No. Stop it. Okay, I'm
I'm not going to stop it, because the science is the science. We got to key in on the science here, right? If I could show you a study of Satanists, getting a benefit, getting an emotional benefit from praying to Satan, would you recommend that they do it?
No, of course not. But praying in tongues is in the Bible. Like, what are you talking about?
No,
even
it's not
Paul
biblical.
says if you
it's false
can speak
doctrine.
in tongues,
it's nonsense.
Almost
no Protestants practice it. None of the original church founders ever practiced it. They knew exactly what it was. But on top of that, you saying that because it gives people peace doing it, or it affects their brain in a positive way, I can give you tons of activities which are terrible for people that do the exact same thing. That doesn't make it a biblical practice.
Yeah, wait, Paul says in the Bible, if you can pray in tongues, if you have faith.
Guy's religious.
Hold on. I'm moving on. Andrew, that was not me speaking in tongues, by the way. That's just my own thing.
You got to do that's what it looks like. It's crazy.
You look like a Pharisee.
Crazy shit.
Okay. They keep calling you a Pharisee, Andrew. I don't know.
What is that?
All right.
Basically
hold on.
religious people.
Wait, quick, Andrew. What's